Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. So, Nintendo is sending Nintendo Switches out to some senior centers, right? Get them out there. They think it'd be good for the elderly to get engaged with video games, and I think that's a great idea. Now, there's a couple of things that you can take from it. Number one is that it's a great tax break, so it's not it's not all charity, right? Business-wise, you can read a couple of things into it. Number one, it is a tax break. Number two, it's a great way to get rid of stock that you think you might not need in the future, and getting a tax break at the same time, right? So you killed two birds with one stone. But that may also be signaling that the time for the Nintendo Switch 2 is near, right? With that said, when I heard that news, guys, I started putting my thoughts down on paper. There is a, small writing that I put in the community page if you guys want to go read it. A little bit more extensive than what I'm going to do here. But I think if you're going to give seniors a video game, to introduce them to video game for the very first time, I think the Nintendo Wii would be a much better choice, right? And I think that's why I titled this paper, the Nintendo Wii, A Revolution for Senior Citizens, right? And I'm talking about people that have never played video games. It's going to be different for us when we retire, haven't played video games all our lives. But I think if you're introducing people to video games for the very first time, it is really something that you need to introduce to them in the most friendliest of manners. And number one, when it comes to this, the Nintendo Wii is just a superior machine for that, right? For doing that. That's why it was so successful. That's why your mom was playing the Wii. That's why Grandpa was playing the Wii, right? And why? Number one, because it's user friendly. It's just pick up and play, right? You just pick up and play it. The Nintendo Wii user-friendly design and innovative controls made it really accessible for a lot of people, right? All they have to do is put the wrist straps. They knew how to play the number one game, which is bowling, right? And they would just go with it. There wasn't a lot of explaining. As long as you set it up properly, it really was a system that can be enjoyed right away by many. And there are benefits, right? Especially to the sports games that you're going to be playing. And not only that, just the acting of moving and thinking brings me to my number 2 point, why the video games would be beneficial for senior citizens. It's the physical and cognitive benefits. As we get older, we exercise less. Our memories start going. You have to exercise your brain just like you exercise your mind. And, it's something that you have to work on. And what better to encourage, that type of fitness than playing sports games that you used to love when you were younger that you can probably no longer do. If you have a bad hip, you're not going to be on the golf course, right? Or on the tennis course or what have you. And, with these games, it's something that you can do right in front of a living room. You can do it with, your family nearby if they need to help you. And again, it's just easier to play. And since a lot of these, right, for example, in the case of Nintendo Switch, they're going to be put in community centers. One of the benefits that you would get is the social interaction, right? Senior citizens, a big problem that they have is that they get lonely. So you get interaction and you get a sense of community, right? And let me tell you, and I've told you guys a story before when I used to work doing first calls, which means picking up bodies when people pass away. A lot of them would be at these senior centers, and it would be sad to see how many people that I would pick up that would be dead on their own. Pretty much they nobody came to visit them. They were lonely, and all the interactions they had was pretty much television. They would just stare at the TV watching for their favorite shows, and that was about it. Nothing else. And when you have a game like this that you can put several people, You can talk. Some people could just be watching. I mean, there's so many games, so many interactive games in that library for these specific purposes that social interaction is going to be a must. I mean, it's just going to be driven towards that. And that gets me to my next point, which is that the Wii has a very varied library. If somebody even has played video games in the past and they just want to play their own Nintendo games, they can do it on there. They can play different types of games. There's narrative games. There's RPGs. I mean, there's, oh, geez. I mean, you can go as far as Mario Kart, Animal Crossing. Easy to pick up and play, right? But there's also puzzle games, board games, like Sudoku, for example, crossword puzzles. And these offer mental stimulation for people, which is great for them, especially in their older age. To me in particular, I think a lot of people are going to be playing tennis, of course, bowling, and golf. I think those would be the most popular. And the benefits of that physical and mental well-being, that you could give to people that no other medium could offer. Like you can do this with movies, Maybe you could have some of the social, of course there's entertainment there, but there's so many more things that you can do with a video game. You can go from playing a sport to playing a board game to playing a movie, read along or story driven game, a point and click. I mean, there's so much versatility and adaptability, especially for the Wii, that really would benefit a lot of senior citizens. The console really caters to just a wide range of people's abilities, physical conditions, if they have any challenges. And to this day, this gaming still remains enjoyable, guys. I mean, right now, I'm telling you, right now, if you want to introduce somebody to gaming, especially an older folk, you might have the old TV still up there. The best thing you can do is, instead of getting them a Nintendo Switch, go get them a Wii console. There's even new ones out there you can find, still in the box, till you can unwrap it. But you can get a used one. You can get them Wii Sports. Now it's $50, I guess. Or you can even buy a hacked console. You don't have to worry about anything. And you just plop it there, and off they go. They don't need to upgrade their TV because it works on their older television. So it's very cost effective, right? And the accessibility for most people would be a lot better than getting a brand new Nintendo Switch, which is a lot smaller. These controllers on the Nintendo Switch are flimsy. I've never liked them. I've always changed them. I either play with the Pro controller or I swap out the handles for that split controller that I showed you guys before. It's just a better experience. I've never liked those controllers. Forget about the drift. The feel of them, they feel cheap to me. Probably to me, that's the cheapest product that Nintendo's ever made, are those cheapest feelings, I should say. Products are those two controllers there. But most of all, guys, it can foster family bonding, right? Just like like one Tommy Tallarico used to promote back in the day when he had a dream that I have to remind you was stolen from him by the board, Phil Adam and John Alvarado. Oh man. But that is the right thing to do for older folks, promote them, get them back into society, get them, and connected. If the Wii was still connectable, and this is the only area where the Nintendo Switch does beat it, is that you can go online on the Switch and still be sociable with other people. So, if they were to make a model, if I was to make any suggestions on the Switch 2, is have peripherals that would make it more like a Wii, more like what was successful, right? Or just make controllers that are more senior citizen friendly, as the population gets older. But I'll read you the conclusion that I made on my paper, on my essay, and I'll just give it to you here. In conclusion, the Nintendo Wii is a perfect introduction to video games for senior citizens due to its user-friendly design, physical and cognitive benefits, social interaction opportunities, varied game library, focus on well-being, inclusivity, adaptability, affordability, and its potential to foster family bonding, right? And guys, and I think further on we'll continue to recognize the benefits that video games can have in older adults. I know I know when I retire, right? When I'm finally retired, video games are going to be a huge part of my life. They are, right? Any moment that I get sitting down, after I watch the news, after I read the paper, because I still do read the paper. Let me tell you, when I'm at home in the Philippines, I get a paper every day. That's part of my, I get my coffee, I get my paper, and, I still go through that routine. So there's certain habits you don't break as you get older. And certainly playing video games is not going to be one of them for me. I'm going to keep playing till I can't play no more. All right, guys, thank you for joining me. I just wanted to share those thoughts with you. I really do appreciate your likes, your comments. Most of the people that listen to these videos do not subscribe, but make sure you subscribe. These videos are not, they're never going to go viral, right? They're just for us that enjoy the topic of video games and the intricacies, the little nuances that go in this medium. We're fans and we like learning about a bunch of things. And that's where I'm at, guys. I like reading stories regarding video games and do research and stuff like that. And then I share them with you. All right, guys, you guys have a great one. I have to go feed the dogs. Take care.